Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some mono black aggro. This got massive upgrades with the new set, already being strong with some of our low to the ground stuff, but we'll talk about just the new cards here. One being the Sunset Saboteur. This has Ward discard a card, a very strong card, a kind of resemblance to Graveyard Trespasser. And it also has Menace. It does have a downside of putting a counter on a creature our opponent controls, but we can do some fun tricks around that, like removing that creature in combat so it actually gets no benefit to them. And then we have the Timeline Caller, one of the strongest creatures to come out of the set because it is so weirdly good. We can warp it for 1 and then has haste, pay 2 life, and that helps with Sissel. But this also allows us to attack with haste multiple different times and use our mana efficiently. And then we have Arch Enemy's Charm, being a exile target creature or planeswalker. Return 1 or 2 target creature and our planeswalker cards from our graveyard to our hand, and put 2/1/1 counters on target creature and gain lifelink. That bottom mode happens to be what we use the most for weird reasons. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive right into the games. All right. I mean, I guess we can keep here, right? Don't really have to do this. It's all 2, so I guess it doesn't matter. And we want to work on getting this flipping as quick as possible with a card like Timeline Caller and it on the battlefield. Green comes down. Land Warrior Elves is in. Land Warrior Elves I do not care to answer. I care to answer the next thing, like a 3-drop that they may be carrying. And for 4, we're going to go down to 16, which is quite scary. The only problem is if I use the Shoot the Sheriff on like a Land Warrior Elf, then I could be out of a lot of value. And this also can just be played again. Tifa. Okay. Okay. An awesome pickup. But I have to shoot the sheriff this, right? There's 0 chance they block. Like, there's no way. I'm just not even going to pretend like they would. Now, the idea is, do I play the Vine Lasher or do I not? Because I want to play this next turn, so I guess I do play it. Well, no. We immediately make the value back by offspringing it and playing the land. If I planned on playing this, I should have played it first before I played my land for turn. They don't crack the escape tunnel. Okay. Interesting. I guess if they do it now, that would make sense. But these two aren't the scariest creatures when combined. Right now, anyway. Obviously, there's way worse. Yeah, we can do this. So we move to combat. We attack. Not even gonna block at all, huh? Interesting. Because if we play this land, we commit a crime, which would allow us to buy back the Forsaken Miner. I figured they would block. Afraid to do it overall. Interesting. We are at 12. A bit scary, that's for sure. But we can play this. Traveling Chocobo, crack, go to 5. This doesn't have trample, so it doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing. Without a Tifa or a big Hydra guy, without trample, there's just not a lot they can do. I guess they can cast an Overprotect here. Or like a card that just gives it trample. This doesn't come in untapped. Alright, they're spreading out the counters, so I don't think they have a way. That was played from hand. Maybe they just had to play it that way? Interesting. Well, we're guaranteed to have 2 creatures make contact. Oh, World Soul Rage. I just saw this list, actually, in like a challenge thing. This is a World Soul Rage version. So they're ready to actually, like, nuke me next turn. Which is interesting. No attack. Totally makes sense. Yeah, but they're 100% dead. Offspring here. Land. I can also be a landfall deck if you'd like. Here. Only 2 creatures need to make contact, and the 2 1/1s can definitely do it, which is quite funny. Does not matter. But yeah, I mean, obviously really, really close. If I don't have that, that would have been really bad. But we come away with the win. They didn't get to play the trampler or anything like that, so we're good. Opponent first, that puts us in a weird spot, but they maul, so I'll definitely snap keep this. I mean, we have a 1/2 and a 3 drop. It's kind of a keep no matter what decision we make. Play here. Could go for the 4/1, but I honestly think just playing this is probably better. Actually, against blue-black, it's actually probably the guy with ward, especially considering this has haste. You always kind of want to play your haste creatures last. Play a guy with ward, and it's a pretty good ward against the deck that already mauled once. Gone. That's kind of why I wanted to lead this out, because we can obviously play it back, but, you know, can't always get what we'd like. Go for a corpse, force them to have another counterspell. They don't here, which is good. Move to combat. They can ambush me with a card if they'd like. Shoot the sheriffs. He's still down. 3 still coming through. And yes, indeed, I will buy that back. I will make free creatures over and over. Seems good to me. And with that, they just give it up, knowing that that's going to be a hard card to beat. They actually had to shoot the sheriff my skeleton. But is it randomly like a mercenary or something? It's a pirate, so they can't shoot the sheriff it. Oh, wow, that is actually crazy. Assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks are outlaws. And that means this cannot be hit with shoot the sheriff. Oh, so they're forced to do that, allowing us to pick up the corpse of the lost. Shoot the sheriff being probably the best removal for black. Not being able to answer this random skeleton does make this card even stronger. Very cool. All right, we'll keep. Mountain. Ooh, gross. Maybe not my favorite cards against probably the Vivi deck, but sure. Huh. Yeah. Would you like to target this? They could, I guess. If they want to get a Vivi in the graveyard, it's a free way to put it in there, I guess. Which is interesting. Return 2 target creature cards from graveyards. And there's a Vivi. No blocks. Of course. So, again, I've done this once. But now I want to do it there. No, because it doesn't really matter, right? So, we can do it one of 2 ways. I can call her, or I can... Do I just use this? Or do I use this? Turn target creature, exile, put 2 counters. Okay. I mean, exiling is still good, right? So when we go to combat, this will happen. We put a counter here. It can't be activated unless on a turn. So then we'll exile it. And then we'll hit for 6. So we get to make sure the counter doesn't go anywhere. Vivi's gone. It's not in the graveyard for them to exile either. So looking pretty okay. This is a sorcery, but if they get the profs or they get a cauldron and a Vivi in the graveyard, they start popping off. We know how the deck works at this point. At this stage of the game. But I will say Vivi, in my mind, and this could be a hot take. I don't really play a lot of best of 3, so this could be a super hot take. But Vivi, in my mind, still feels like the easier deck to handle over the Corey Steelcutter deck, to be honest with you. Okay. Sure. I suppose. I take a big 9 here. That can't block, so you have options, kind of. They're kind of down and out right now. Huh. And this just can't answer anything. The only way I can is if I warp something. I can play this and then maybe trade. I can warp this and pay 2 life, but that's just not good. Man, what a tough one. Because then I still end up just taking 6, right? And maybe still dying. Wow, you're incredibly hard to figure out. I mean, I guess I just play this and try to block with it. I feel like that's best case. Walk the creature that can grow. Down to 2. You have a burst lightning? No? Oh, man. Here. Here. Yes, here. I don't know what that card is, but maybe they were holding for like a duress. The ward being very good here. I will double block. Team? 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 Team, we're doing it. Team? No! Nice! Arena, thank you. Okie dokie. I still can't figure out which one's better, to be honest with you. To play early. Honestly, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play Dark Confidant, and I'm going to let my life total just get slammed away. What's a life total without a little bit of creativity? You know what I mean? What's a trampler without a dream? Oh. Thistle is definitely doing a better job at blocking here than anything else. And honestly, with the Tifa attack, it could weirdly get to the point that we could flip this for free. But okay. So counter first, double later. I will block to remove it. Wow. If there was a card that I thought maybe I wouldn't want to reveal to my opponent, it was that one. They're still holding up one. No attack. It like kind of immediately went through. My problem here, right? If I give them one more draw, they can draw it then. But if I just exile this now, like I'm still getting blown out by a Snakeskin Veil anyway, right? Let's do it. Oh, it stuck. Nice. Leave it up to Arena to allow me to find out my opponent's hand a little bit without actually, you know, pulling the cards out of their hand and just looking. Okay. Okay. All right. Offspring. Yes. Land. Double ping. We're trying our best here. Play this guy. He does really nothing. Hold the line. Am I dead? Not being able to remove this, very likely I die. A Fable Passage. Ooh. Okay, it's just one land. So it goes to 4. Either one they would like to. Again, if it attacks, obviously we know what I'm doing. Oh boy. Yikes. I'm even drawing extra cards and I just can't get the problem to be solved. This is 4 pings upstairs. All right. Go ahead. 1 fetch land means I die. This goes to 5 to 10, crack way over 20. I can't do anything. Yep. I believe, right? Yeah, I mean, there's double trample. I'm dead. I'm just moving on. Brutal. Probably a matchup like, I don't know, if I find any of my removal, I'd feel fine in. But apparently, I just want to draw lands and creatures that can't attack through the bigger creature. After the Vivi game, I don't really care what happened. Play here. Don't really mind the second one of these a lot of times because we tend to trade this off some way. Encampments? Opponent, you don't mean that, right? Dark Confidant. In. Again, this has haste, so not that worried. We could technically warp it if we want, if we're trying to get this to flip quicker. On a white? Okay. Alright. Well, update. My entire hand is able to go under 1 little enchantment that is not great for us. I could have warped this. Let's just play this ward guy in case they don't have it. I don't have a way to beat it. Yeah, lock them all up. Oh, Enduring Innocence. Okay, never mind. Sure. And a land? Okay. Sweet. So we go land, warp, because we want to take the damage here. Remove here. Combat, attack, and they concede. Okay, cool. Does this flip and have indestructible always, or is it the opposite? I need to actually look. Lifelink. So it actually doesn't get indestructible forever. It's just during combat. But I mean, we're gonna hit him for a bunch. I was kind of planning whether they're gonna board wipe me or not, but all right, cool. All right, my opponent's first. I think this is the first time having this card like in the opener, I believe. So that's kind of cool. Brutal. My opponent is scary. Oh no, it's caretaker talent control. I can't beat this. We can try our best. Here's 2. Go ahead and do this. 4-1 with Menace is interesting. Pass. Nice, nice, nice. I will go ahead and warp this. Could be a counter spell, obviously. Barrel here. We can't allow them to have 2 creatures to block here. And if they mess up on how they pop the carrot cake. Alright, they're going to do it now. Sure. Again, remember the 4-1 doesn't get removed. They keep 1 on top. Okay, so I'm probably losing a vast majority of my creatures. I could have warped this one too. I keep forgetting that I can just do that. It was literally free. Or there's a carrot or caretaker's town on top. Because I could have warped this and also attacked. Man, I am playing this card specifically. This one right here. I am playing this card so bad. And I just don't know why I keep doing it. Because I could have just got... It's so annoying. I could have warped it and I could have got an additional attacker in, you know. Kind of know how it is. I can play this now or I can offspring this. Let's go to combat. Obviously, they can remove my Sissel this way, but I still get 4 damage on them, so I'm fine with it. Sure. Offspring. Remember, here we'll be able to do this, and then we can play this and play this one. Vine Lasher goes up. Land comes down. Double ping going upstairs. Best part about Vine Lasher against these type of decks is they don't really get to do the same amount of value. Could have done this again, but I'm kind of concealing it a bit. We're ready to kind of body them on the... It's just for 2 because this was tapped. Okay, so they're only going to get 1 card here. Probably the card they kept on top if I had to guess. But I do get to... Alright, sweet. So, stuff's gone. Alright. I can offspring this and warp this and do it, or I can double attack here and play the Vine Lasher, or I can just wait, or I can warp here and then put 2/1 counters on it and then hit them for 4, and then that would set them down to 3, which means most likely double attack here would be good. Is that worth? I just lose the value there if I do that, but I think that's okay. Or I just play 2 and I double attack, right? And I do 4 that way and I save my card. Maybe I should have warped this just so it's not there for like exile removal. But if they're in the graveyard by a board wipe, I guess I can warp them from there too. It's just, I'm so used to Sunfall being a card that they can play. Or like that card, for example. Even a land here is not awful. Play this one. Then I kind of want to play this, but I just don't need to. A Carrot Cake's pretty devastating. But let's see. If they remove this, obviously it takes 2 cards, but it's most likely worth it. They could barrel another one of these. Yeah, but this is also why I thought maybe I should warp the creature, because then they're obviously not gone under there. They chose that pretty quick. A land, sure. Alright, we should have it covered with this draw, actually. A pretty good draw to have. Sure. Make them discard first. Ultima. Okay. Get to play around the smite with that. Combat for 4. Alright, cool. We get there. Probably played this card like almost annoyingly bad. I definitely can imagine somebody watching this game and being like, wow, if only this guy was better at the game. But it is what it is. Alright, so we'll keep here redoing this game. Not game, but intro. Our opponent wasn't here at first, but we have a 1-drop and then a 1-drop and a 1-drop if needed, and this can remove anything, and then we have a good 3-drop. However, I will say the warp goes to exile, so this doesn't actually work. Oh, just quite frankly, just throwing a nurturing pixie out there, just generically. All right. Okay. Interesting. Nowhere to run, obviously. Card. Alright, I mean, to be fair, I could warp this and get rid of the 1/1, but there's just no reason to do that. Let's just attack for 2. Now we have to decide whether our opponent's a pinnacle player or not. And they're doing like the pinnacle bounce shenanigans, which is definitely a thing. Sure. I'll allow it. Uh-huh. Oh, they get rid of a Kieran. Interesting. Just gonna pick this up because what else would it pick up here? All right, let's play land. Let's move to combat. Let's attack for 2. All right. Dark Confidant is probably going to be the target of their removal, if I had to guess. I am going to play Corpse in this for 1, I think, is my play. Because then we can always play it next turn and be like kind of more mana efficient. Stock up, okay. Fair enough. Letting Dark Confidant live for a turn is kind of a risk our opponent's doing. Because again, that can draw some value. Or we get bullied. Opponent's still deciding. Must be a hard pack of 5 to pick 2 from. Tap land, maybe? Maybe that's why it was annoying. No, it could have been untapped. Sure. I mean, we're kind of racing right now, to be honest. And there's a land, which is beautiful. Another land, not as beautiful. Barrel this corpse. Get in there. The flash. But as you can see, warping doesn't count. This is also the beginning of the end step, and this is also beginning of the end step, so it doesn't really work anyway. Even if it did go to the graveyard, but we put their life total to the stress limit. Storm, good. Nowhere to run, good. 1 blue here. I just realized that. Oh, and they attack. Okay. The land. In. I mean, I have enough for lethal, I guess. You kind of had to block. Dark Confidant obviously going in here. Nowhere to run. Going to pick up 1 creature. Most likely, I would see this is probably going to get picked up, and then this is going to pick up here, which is a bit brutal. It could leave Dark Confidant, hoping it also kills me, I guess. Okay, interesting. All right, Dark Confidant, put us in the ground. Let me have it. Also, remember, my ward doesn't work here. There's no way to run. It's a complete counter to this card. Will they have it? They just have to have any removal spell plus an additional spell. That's pretty good. Any removal spell now. Actually, that doesn't work. Any removal spell and Dark Confidant betraying me. All right, to be fair, me having Dark Confidant and my opponent not even trying to win there, kind of crazy. Just because of the fact that we all know how this works. I have a 3 mana card in my deck. I'm willing to draw it. All right, so we played mono black aggro, and it was pretty okay. It was like good, bad at times, felt fine. Honestly, the thing I felt more than anything was somehow I kind of only found like 1 removal spell a game, which happens, right? But I felt like I had 3 of these a game. So at the same time with 5 more removal spells, it felt like I was just drawing every copy of this, but it is a bit more, it feels like you have a lot more of these because you know you get to like warp it and then cast it, so it feels like you're casting it twice, so 2 copies and whatever. But yeah, this deck was pretty sweet. Honestly, it was pretty good. I don't know. I feel like this is a deck that I would like to play a lot more of before I actually would say and commit to the fact that I'm like, hey, this deck is insane. You should definitely play it. Also, just a reminder to anybody who cares. This is a patch that came out with Edge of Eternities, so Dark Confidant I just want to point this out. So these cards, right? I actually own 4 copies of this. I only own 1 copy of this, even though it implies I own more than one. But I promise you, I only own 4 of these. And I own 1 of these. You can actually change it now again. So you only ever need 1 of any card to get all 4 copies, which is pretty awesome. If you did not know that, that is a thing that is now in play. So be aware of that. If you have like a 4 of a card and you want to play like a different art or something or whatever, you don't actually need to craft 4 of that anymore like we did in the past. So with that, that's all I have to say. It was pretty fun. I did do the kind of craft guide here. It is pretty rare heavy, but I would argue that some of these are staples that you probably have. Being like a Vine Lasher is probably a staple. This was a pretty popular card when it came out. And Sissel being also one. Soul Sanctuary being one, especially if you're a mono black player, because Demons has been so popular that this card has had to be played in there. It was played in mono red. It was played in kind of some control list. So having 2 of these is not out of the realm. So realistically, you're looking at 4 mythics, and then you're looking at the 11 rares, and the rest is commons and uncommons, and then you have 21 lands. So definitely a good kind of more budget option if you want to play an aggro deck, but maybe not. I don't know. It's so weird because I just keep trying to compare it to what red was in the past, but red right now I would say is about the same feeling as this was. So take that with what you will. But all that's said and done, I hope you all enjoyed it anyway, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.